I've got a box built for it, just a rough 3/4 inch plywood box. And what I'm doing now is taking some of these 1/4 inch scraps that I have, cutting a 30-degree bevel on one side, and I'm going to use that as the ramps to allow the dust to go into the drawer. I've got a couple pieces cut here to go on the sides like so, and I've marked out notches for the dado cutout to straddle these rails left and right. I'm going to do that with this 1/4 inch ply scrap. He used solid pine stacked up. I've got more scraps of this to use up, so I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. And securing it, I think I'm just going to use a little bit of wood glue here and there, and I may come back and smear some over the top edges of all the seams just to kind of give it a little bit more of a bond and to seal up any little cracks that I have. But I think this is going to be plenty strong enough. We're just talking about dust falling in here. Long term, if a tool maybe or a piece of wood was to drop down on it, it may jar it loose, but I'm going to see how this works before I do anything any stronger. With the drawer in place, I've got all these little ramps cut and installed. I ended up going on the sides with a 45-degree angle and dropping it in, and the back I just stuck with that 30-degree angle piece that I already had cut. But it's a little ramp that overhangs the lid of the drawer by, I don't know, about a half inch to an inch. That'll allow all the dust to hit this and fall back. I think that's plenty enough for what I'm doing. I didn't want to do any compound angles, so I just cut one straight on this back piece. Just cut a straight angle on it, and then just filled in the piece with filled in the gap with some just a little piece of scrap, thin piece I had, and some glue. I also went around all the joints with some wood glue, just the same way you would do caulking. I'm not worried about being perfect here. This is a big improvement from what I had, but I still want to do a halfway decent job, so I just used wood glue. That'll be fine. That's all snug fit in there. A lot of glue on the joint, and in some places a couple brads. So I'm going to put my saw back up here. I've already been using it. It works great. And all that's left to do is build those two little fold-out doors for saw blades, and I'll be done. Alright, using the same piece of 1/4 inch ply so I get some grain matching here. I cut my two door fronts that are going to fold down. They're sitting on the outside, and then I also cut this extra drawer front to dress it all up and make it all match. To make the saw holders that are going to go on the bottom, where'd they go? I took 4 pieces of 3/4 inch ply that's 5 inches tall, and this one, let me see, 7.5 inches this way. These are going to go on the outside of these little boxes that I'm making, like so. And then I've got another piece, another piece that goes on the inside that's 6 inches. So we spaced out like so. And basically from where this ply stops, this front piece, I've got 1 inch and then a saw curve, 1 inch, saw curve, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. I'm using 5 per door. And then the extra saw blades will just fit down in there and be something like that. This doesn't have to be anything, too extravagant. This is exactly what he has in the plan. I'm not sure on the dimensions, but this style is what he's doing. And then the whole thing will just tip forward once it's installed. The front and back are also elevated off the bottom of the cabinet, I think 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to have a spacer in the back to support the back side, and the front is going to have another spacer to stop the whole front of the drawer from being front of the door from being pushed in. So I'm going to get these built together, nothing fancy. I'm just going to brad nail these in place and then come back with 2 screws to hold it. Get them mounted on, and I think for the poles, I'm not going to make a pole. I think I'm just going to make probably like a 2-inch circle cutout with the hole saw. That way I can just pick that up from right there and take it where I need to be. Here it is, all completed. Well, completed as far as I'm going to build it. I'm not sure on extension wings. I'm not sure if that's even necessary for my use. I've got another miter saw. I may build one for a little bit longer stuff, as well as a little bit deeper for the sliding. But for this, it's great. I'm completely satisfied with this. Not sure where I'm going to run the cord, but right now I've just got it draped over the top and it works fine. The drawer seems to be collecting dust real good. I didn't want to buy a pole or make one or anything like that, so I just ripped a 30-degree bevel on the bottom. That gives you a little bit of a lip for your fingers to grab a hold of, and you can pull out the drawer just fine like that. Like I said, I changed up the ramps just a little bit, and that was just for me to install it just a little bit easier. I used wood glue as same way you would as caulking to seal all the seams. Got some drips here, but it's working fine. The bottom drawers, drawers, whatever you want to call them, I love this. I've actually got saw blade storage finally. What I did, or what his plans call for rather, is a strip in the back to support the back side because it's 3/4 inch off the ground. He used a smaller strip. I just had some scrap I didn't want to cut down, so I used the whole length of it. Same way up front, because I put this toe kick on the bottom of it, whatever you want to call that. I naturally had a groove once I installed that second backer piece. That second backer piece right there gave me a channel right here. This is just a door with this saw cutout mounted to it. It's elevated off the ground 3/4 inch, like I said, and that will allow the bottom of it to slide into that panel, and gravity shuts it. So I've got both of these in use right now. There's some wasted space in the back, like he mentioned in his write-up. He didn't use it. I don't have any need for it. I thought about, in the back of it, cutting out some slots to use some like lawnmower wheels, or just some big casters or whatever. That way the back 2 corners would be elevated on those casters at all times, and you just tilt the front up or move it however you need, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe put 2 casters on this side with the direction rolling that way, and you can just put a handle over here and pick this up and move it around like a wheelbarrow. This thing's not that heavy. You know, I can move it around without wheels, no problem. I don't have any casters on it. He had some casters and a lift mechanism for the legs to go down. Pretty neat idea. I may just throw some casters on here when I need it to, or when I need to. But for right now, for today, this weekend's over, and I'm pretty happy with the result. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I might post another video with some wings on the end. I don't know, but it's definitely not going to be anytime soon. So there's a completed project. Definitely worth the build. Great design. Like I said, his design, my dimensions on most of the parts. Ibuildit.ca is where you can find it. I'll put a link to the write-up in the description. So hope you've enjoyed it, and that's my final result.